and Instagram work today. They didn't work yesterday. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Changing backgrounds too. Autofox. There we go. Upload that one. Put one of these up for time being. Fight hypocrisy. Oh wow. Yeah, that's a good one for right now. Till the new one comes up. So Fox can't seem to let go of the issue of the auto pen. So we'll talk about that too. And they're doing an investigation. They're looking into it. They're looking into a president who's out of office. And because he actually follows the Constitution, he won't be coming back, save for the fact that he's also in his early 80s, has cancer, wasn't reelected in the first place. But don't let that stop him, because we know that's happened twice in our history. We'll also talk about Fox News style presidential daily briefings. Why? Because our 4-year-old mental president needs something that'll keep his attention. And apparently, that doesn't even work. Ron DeSantis is back in the news. Of course, Fox News calls him a popular governor. Why don't we ask the WWE how popular he is when he was literally booed out of the arena on Saturday night? And now the pussy is crying lawfare. Oh my God, they're investigating me for stealing $10 million. It must be lawfare. I don't know, Ron. Maybe you stole $10 million. Did you ever think of that? If you accuse me of stealing $10 million, not only will I call bullshit, but I'll show you the bank accounts. And you know what you're not going to see? You're not going to see $10 million. But no, this pussy can't man up and face the music. He's got to cry. And that's what he's doing. Again, still, I don't know. You tell me. 1-888-88 Yergs. 844 gay LGBT. I think we can take yesterday's breaking news off the ticker. Rest in peace to Jonathan Joss. Am I pronouncing that right? Does anybody know? I never heard of the guy before that, and I know King of the Hill, but I don't watch cartoons. So again, we'll be discussing the legality of the auto pen, and even Jesse Waters admitted that the auto pen is legal if Biden has authorized it. I said that weeks ago. We'll talk about Trump 1.0 versus Trump 2.0, and the fact that this time around, even though there are no adults in the room like there was the last time, that is to say, career people, as opposed to all loyal dogs that are political appointees, even these guys have had enough. We'll finally get to Ross Ulbricht. He's the dark web guy. And let me just say in advance of eventually getting this, we were supposed to talk about it yesterday. We never made it. Hey, Instagram's working today. 1 in a row. We never made it to the 1.0 and 2.0 and Ross. 2 life sentences and was pardoned. Now, apparently, we're not quite to the Biden level. I didn't know Biden did this many. 8,000 pardons. 8,000. But I'll tell you what, they weren't. People with 2 life sentences. We'll also talk about being dissed. When someone who should say yes tells you no. We'll also be watching Wokies and monitoring monitoring MAGA, if we get that far. And we'll see where that goes. Let me just make sure I'm on everywhere. There's the radio. Speaking of radio, let's do some call letters. That's kind of a usual thing that we're supposed to get to. I haven't been doing that. And I think these stations kind of know that the brokered shows don't really care. Well, I do. I do care about that. And there's today's show notes. Always good to have. It's now June. That's always good to show too. Radio X. I just sent a bunch of these stations new graphics because they've either added some stations, like Dare Media has, Radio X Country, and is it Radio X Gold or Radio Gold? I forget, but I still have it on here as Radio Live, which has been rebranded. That's out of Perth, Australia. Now, this is what's so frustrating about the being dissed by others. We'll talk about it later. There was a legal group that I wanted to have on. I want to help them out. I saw what they're doing. I believe in what they're doing. I want to get them some. And I don't know if they just went to the social media and just saw that, some of the social media accounts aren't that big yet. Well, maybe they should have gone to the Nielsen ratings. And maybe they should have gone to directly to some of these other online stations. It'd have been a little bit better than some of the interviews you're doing. Anyway. So, Dare Media, Perth, Australia, Radio X Country, and Radio Gold. Shout out to all our friends down under. WZQR, this is a solid station. There are 7 stations in one. Like, we're about to start our 5th, and I don't have time to have any time. These guys got 7. I mean, I know a lot of it's already set up, and it's automated, and they probably didn't launch all 7 at once, but there's still management that's got to be done. WZQR in Pineland, Florida, on Pine Island. We are on station number 7. They're mostly a music company. But if you go to WZQR.FM, that's always cool when you get a short URL. You know I'm all about that. WZQR.FM. They're on with Live 365, I think is their streaming company, who ain't bad. And I think for all those music stations, that's probably a great choice. There were some certain things that we couldn't get to work that they'd actually didn't offer. For example, a lot of our shows at Mastiff Media are with live DJs. They didn't have a multiple DJ login capability. If I was going to have you as a DJ on my station, I would have to give you my username and password as the owner of the station. That's ridiculous. I said, no, I can't go with you guys. Which, it kind of broke my heart. They're from Pennsylvania. I expected more. Truth be told, they are from Pittsburgh. But WZQR isn't. They're down in Pineland, Florida, and they're pretty awesome. Scroll down. Like I said, we're on station number 7. It's called WZQR Talks. So WZQR-Talks. Click on that. We're one of the bigger promoted shows, and we really love that. Appreciate what everybody there does. DNR Studios. Go to dnrstudios.com and download the DNR Cast app. That is our one subscription service that we're on. Also, a shout out to our friends and cohorts in the LGBT community. The Biz Growth Collective. Oh, my eye itches. My allergies are kicking my ass. The Biz Growth Collective. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com and click on the 24/7 networking room. Every show we do gets broadcast there too. KSHP in Las Vegas. Coming soon. Thursdays. We will be Monday through Friday. We were offered June, which is right now. I can't do it this month. In fact, I think I still got to reply to this email. Oh, God. I want to shoot for July if the spot is still open. If it's not, I totally get it. But, yeah. Right now, we are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Friday on 1400 AM and 1071 FM KSHP K-Shop in Las Vegas. And like I said, God willing, and station general manager willing, we will be able to work out the deal for Thursdays as well. Right Talk Radio, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's Radio, Forward Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. I got to put Forward on here too. Got to update this stuff. Let's make all that font lower so it fits on one line. These show notes are getting bigger. God. Change that font color so I know it's us too. There we go. All right. This is up the middle. Politics for the rest of us. From your well, okay. Well, that's timed right. I was gonna say, I'm Yergs, the host, a voice that sounds like yours. Do you smoke 4 packs a day? Because that's what that certainly sounded like. Can't call that one sexy or confident, but we are conservative. We are liberal. We are progressive. We are everything that the majority of our listeners are as well. Yesterday, speaking of listeners, shout out to a neighbor of mine who let me in on a little secret that I've got other neighbors listening to this show. So a shout out to all of them too. I don't know who you are, because one of the things he said was, it was flattering to me. I mean, just that you're talking about me at all as a shock jock is flattering to me. But apparently, I have neighbors talking about my Facebook photo, my profile picture, where I'm in my underwear. And apparently, some of the guys are commenting as essentially, let's call it what it is. I look good in the picture. I look good in the picture. I do. I was much more buff then. And truth be told, it is not a recent picture. I think I know that I've said this already in the past couple of weeks since that photo has been launched. I've used it before. On the circle, on the profile, the first time I used it, I did from like the thighs up. And so you could see that not only am I buff, pretty slapped together, muscular, but also pretty gifted too, as an underwear model should be. Well, the grief that I got from particular family members, also known as parents, at the age of an adult, like, why are they caring what I do with my social media? Well, one of the things they even cared about was what the people at their church would think. I don't care what the people at your church would think. Because at that time, we were still at the church that, this is a sad story, honestly. It was on my dad's side of the family, and he went there as a kid. And now, of course, for part of my life, we had gone there. So that's two generations. His mom went there, and her mom went there. Her mom, my great grandmother, who I never knew, she passed away when I was only a few years old, was baptized in that church, was confirmed in that church, was married in that church, and was buried by that church in that cemetery. So that's at least 4 generations that have gone to St. John's Hill, UCC. UCC is United Church of Christ. And it's called a Hill Church because it's up on a hill. It's a big white church with black trim that you can see for miles. And when they light the steeple up at night, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, recent, what's it? The board members, not consistent, like the kind of like the deacons, but they're just not called that at this particular faith. They are, Pasco County emergency. They are, I'll get a text message too, so I'll check it out there. They are a little bit more bigoted and very MAGA crooked. They did a vote with the consistory, all the members. UCC, United Church of Christ, on the national level, recognizes and accepts gay marriage. However, they allow each individual church to make their own determination. And so my mom was on this board at the time. And so they held a vote, I guess mail-in ballot, whatever method. Maybe it was at a business. Some days the church service is actually a business meeting, like once a year. I think they have to do that. They held a vote, and apparently, according to my mom, in her opinion, it was actually close. However, the majority, whether it's actual majority of the membership, but the majority of those who voted were against gay marriage. And so when the board wrote the letter to the members, to the consistory, they made it sound like it was a pretty done deal, unanimous decision, and it wasn't. And so my mom and another member, and actually the board kind of was the same way as the membership. It was actually pretty close there too. They wanted to write a letter saying how close it was. And the majority of the board said no. So we left. And really, at the end of the day, they were lied to. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But basically, like with being dissed, I think that's where I was. If people, what is it that I say? I say something here. I'm not seeing anything where it's written down and I can't remember. Oh, yes, do your homework. If people would do their homework, maybe we'd have a lot of different decisions. But these folks, my neighbors, were doing their homework. And I guess what I didn't know is that when Facebook shows you Ross Yerger changed his profile photo, in that post on your wall, it actually shows the entire photo. I didn't know that. Oh, well. So my friend, my one neighbor who I knew listens to the show, he stuck, he was pretty solid. He stuck up for me. He said, well, now, if that was another neighbor of ours who showed a picture of a woman in a bikini, would you be okay with that? And they were like, yeah. So what's the difference? You don't like this one because you're not gay. But maybe your wife likes it because you certainly don't look like that. And I know they were all thinking that. I don't think my neighbor actually said that to him, but that was kind of the gist. Different strokes for different folks kind of thing. And maybe the wife does. I say that none of these people look like that because I at least know my neighbors. I don't know the specific neighbors that my neighbor was talking to. He wouldn't say. I know who he hangs out with, and I know who he talks to in the neighborhood, but I don't care. But a shout out to him, because one of the things, and this is why, people need to look into us further. We do have an influence, a positive influence. I was really tickled by this. I was really proud of this when he told me. On Monday, Jane and I talked about me needing to more regularly and consistently, and I'm actually stomping my foot when I say this, and get to the gym. And Jane and I were talking about, if I stay home from the gym, and I got to get this in my head, today I'm going to figure something out and go. But if I stay home from the gym because I want to get work done, I didn't get any editing done yesterday. I got the 2-hour show put together into one file, in an audio file, so it could be played on Yerg's radio and the other stations. That's it. That's all I got done. I didn't get it chopped up into different segments so it can be put on the RSS feed. I'm like, I don't know how far behind on episodes like that. And I got to work out a pattern. But I've also got to get back in the gym, because that photo, this is all coming together now, that photo that's on my Facebook profile is me. That is what I used to look like. And I put it there for me, because this job has me on all of my social media so frequently. I just felt that if I would see that photo more frequently, it would remind me of what could be and what used to be, and not too long ago. Which means I can get it back. So can you. And on Monday, my neighbor Rick, having heard that episode, went to the gym. I was so thrilled to hear that. So shout out to Rick today. And let's put that up. Let's bring out another old thing we haven't been doing for a little while. Pierre's Pot, named in honor of Pierre Robert from 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia, has been there his entire radio career. Was originally from San Francisco and had been with one station while in San Francisco. That during his time there, his brief time there, changed their format to country. And he beat feet and said, no, this ain't me. While unemployed, a buddy of his said, hey, I need a ride to Philadelphia. I need to go to school. His friend was going to college in Philly. I don't know if it was Temple, Penn, St. Joe's, whatever. I don't know. But was going to school in Philly, needed a ride. So they hopped in Minerva 1, his first Volkswagen Bug minivan, the minivan of the day. Yeah, not a Volkswagen Bug, sorry, Volkswagen minivan. Hopped in Minerva, and across the country they went. While visiting, he sent a tape to a guy named Joe Bonadonna, program director or GM, I don't know what he was at the time, for 93.3 WMMR, one of Philly's rock stations. He was told no. So bummed, he kind of hung out with his friend in Philadelphia and saw a psychic who told him he needed to go home. There was a very important letter waiting for him. So he goes back to his buddy's place, begins to pack up, and as he's headed out the door, his buddy stops him and says, hey, wait a minute, I forgot. You got this letter sent to his buddy's place, home. And it was a letter from Joe Bonadonna at 93.3 WMMR saying, we've reconsidered. We would like for you to do the same. Would you come be a DJ at our station? We almost missed one of rock's most dedicated and knowledgeable disc jockeys in rock history. And he's like 70 years old. And Pierre Robert has been at MMR ever since. He's now on Minerva number 2 or 3. It was broken down in front of the station. It was just sitting there as kind of like an icon. This is where the station is because this piece of crap minivan is parked out front. And when I say Volkswagen minivan, it was the Volkswagen minivan as you know them, but it was all painted in like, peace and love and, that kind of thing. You think I got long hair? You should see Pierre. He's got the beard to match. The city came after him, said, hey, these things got to go. So one of the body shops, in exchange for ads, of course, redid Minerva. Now it is not only like the Mastiff Media minivan, it is not only his car again, but it is what he takes to and from various events where he makes appearances at. The MMR barbecue, something like that. They have a barbecue. They just had it a couple of weeks ago. The beginning of every summer. And they're like big concerts. He's got pictures of himself with like all the coolest rock stars from like classic rock, Mick Jagger and Led Zeppelin and all those, and bands that I have no idea who they are, but they're big deal today. And so he does a thing called a Toast of the Morning Sauce, where he takes a good citizen, as he calls them, aka listener, and gives them that toast and tells the story about what they did. And our story today is my neighbor Rick, who stood up for his underwear model neighbor and disc jockey, and was also inspired by that conversation to get his own self into the gym and begin that process. I doubt either one of us are going to be modeling underwear again anytime soon, but at least we're going to be healthy when we don't do it. So here it is to you with this month's Pride mug. To my neighbor Rick, a toast of the morning sauce in your direction. Well done, and thank you, pal. Thank you for also providing me an excuse to have another sip of coffee. All right, it's well past half hour. I got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the auto pen. Do we do that first? Or maybe let's talk about DeSantis. We're talking about Florida people. We'll talk about Ron DeSantis crying about Lawfare and the Hope Florida Foundation and how they can't seem to find $10 million. Imagine. This is Up the Middle on the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after these words. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training. A dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum. Is Growth Collective and Build the Space. The timer started. The timer started. Biz Growth Collective. We're on there right now, as we are every day. I had to actually adjust something on that. Biz Growth Collective. That is the future of business networking. Forget about LinkedIn. You're going to be censored. They're going to be talking about stupid shit that ain't a part of networking. It's just like, I think LinkedIn has become Facebook for people with egos. Because I'm an executive, so I know what I'm talking about. I actually corrected somebody on there last fall, and I got kicked off. That's LinkedIn. Biz Growth Collective, however, there's an opportunity for stupid posts like that. It's about networking. It's about getting your business license if you don't have one yet. It's about actually doing business. Go figure. Wow. Networking, we actually do business. And it's done by a company. You can see it up there in the corner of the screen. Build a Space is the name of the company. So scan both of these QR codes. Build a Space does some really great work. I'm happy with where Yergs.com is going. They're spearheading that. And the Biz Growth Collective is an excellent tool that your business needs to be using. Go to bizgrowthcollective.com, sign up today. Also, check out the company making it, Build a Space, by going to builda.space. Their name is their address. Let's see who's in the chat. Good Lord. I gotta get caught up here. Hello, everybody. Supervan Ken says, good morning, gang, and happy Wednesday. Yeah, Ken says, if I stole $10 million, I would be in jail. Yeah, it's because your name isn't Ron DeSantis. You're not a fascist. Travis Evans from The Point with Travis Evans saying good morning. Good morning, pal. Good to see you. Ken tells me I'm pronouncing it correctly. That must be Joss, Jonathan Joss. Ken giving a shout out to Travis. Travis, I think, Travis is checking out my picture. Awesome. I think if you're around, I'd like to have you on Friday's show. If your schedule allows for it. Ken says churches are a point of control. Yeah. It's in fact the old function of the church, the colonial times. That was your local government. That was what the church was. And that's part of separation of church and state, is that they shouldn't be the same thing. Maybe a new gym commercial and add the gym owner in the photo. Just an ideal. I think that's supposed to be just an idea, but I get you. Yeah, I can actually show you the gym owner. He looks like he owns a gym. Straight, so I'm not gonna go there. But he's actually in my screensavers because there's something that he said that I've used on the show. I'll share this screen here. There we go. That's Anthony Gillio. He checks in occasionally too, usually through Instagram. You can see his screen name, Mr. Momentum. That's from a movie. Mr. Momentum has changed direction. Is that like Happy Gilmore or something? His quote here, Joe's quote here is, Anthony's quote here rather, they are not ready. They're not ready to see you succeed. They're not ready to watch you get healthy. They're not ready to see you grow. Whether in size of muscle or size of what's in your underwear, they're not ready to see you grow. But you are. This is your time to rise above the doubts, the noise, and the naysayers. Start now. Start strong. Momentum is everything. And this is not a week ago. That's when I took it was that old, 39 seconds old, when I replied and took the screenshot and told him I'm going to use this for the daily segment, Morning Motivation. And I have already. But there you go again. Rick, you are ready to get back to that, obviously, or you wouldn't have gone on Monday. There we go, it's a little better. But that's Anthony. Dude's jacked. And I ran into his wife at the grocery store. Wow, does that boy eat? Good Lord. That's the only picture I have of him. That's their logo since rebranding. And that's been in like the past year or so, I think. I don't know. But they used to be Monster Mouse Fitness. The House of the Mouse. Monster Mouse Gym, something like that. And they had this like nuclear steroided out mouse as a mascot. It was pretty cool. But I think they're going they're competing with places like Planet Fitness and all these other corporate businesses that can come in and have these ridiculously low memberships because they're in volume. So they don't really care. Because they're marketing to people who aren't going to be coming in anyway. This guy's charging a normal price and is getting the dedicated people but he's paying his bills. He had some serious cuts and losses when these other gyms came in. And that's why, another reason why I'm going to continue to support him. Because unlike some people who just up and say no because it's an easy thing to do, I get membership. I come in there, and every day you hear about him. And yeah, I love the gym. I just got to get my fat ass in. All right. Ron DeSantis is, you know what I think about him. Now, Fox News is saying that he's punching back at Hope Florida controversy and likens lawfare to the attacks on Trump and nominees. No, the attacks on Trump and the nominees aren't lawfare. It's because, like Trump, all his nominees suck. You've got a Secretary of Homeland Security who does not know what habeas corpus is. You've got an Attorney General who has blatantly weaponized the FBI. You've got a director and deputy director of the FBI who are nothing more than her bitch. And she's Trump's bitch. None of these people are advising Trump on anything. You'll hear that now. We're number two when we talk about the briefings they try to give this guy. You've got a Secretary of Defense who, wait to hear this story. Oh, I got to get this up. I forgot about that. Do you know who Harvey Milk is? He was a city council member like the 70s or 80s. Was openly gay back in a time when that was not an idea. You weren't openly gay. In fact, his office was right around the corner from a historical landmark, one of the first gay bars in San Francisco, was one of the first in the country to have windows. And the reason for that is, the reason you didn't have windows as a gay bar is because you didn't want your boss walking by looking to confirm the rumors and see if you're in one of them, in one of these gay bars. Well, the Twin Turrets Inn, it's this castle-looking building on the corner of Castro and Market Streets in San Francisco, in the Castro district, didn't care, and neither did their patrons. And it's the corner walls, the exterior walls are all glass. Beautiful building, great bar. But sadly, when I was there in the early 2000s, it seemed to be the original members from there, those who were there in the 80s, because now the place is nicknamed the Glass Coffin in Heaven's Waiting Room. It's an older crowd. Anyway, Harvey Milk was from that district and was elected as an openly gay member of San Francisco's City Council. He's also a Navy veteran. He was assassinated in City Hall by an uber conservative. Are we seeing any patterns here? By an uber conservative member. In the movie Milk, Harvey Milk was played by Sean Penn. Outstanding job. From what I know about Harvey Milk, he did very well in portraying who and how Harvey lived his life. I had a cigarette with Sean at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah, true story. He just broke up with, I'm brain farting on who he had just recently had a divorce with. Don't remember. But TMZ and the paparazzi, and they were all following him. So he gets to the corner of where the hotel is, and that corner was posted, meaning nobody could come. You can't cross this line. Well, I could, and I knew who he was, so I could escort him legally. That's if I know who I'm escorting and where they're going, um, they can come with me. So I was going to walk him around the building to the VIP magnetometers because he's still going to get scanned. He wasn't scanned yet. He wasn't. He could be carrying a gun. He's still going to go through the metal detectors. He wasn't in that far into the secure area, and I never would have. I never. There's no reason for me to ever have him be escorted that way without at least first going through the mags. I can take him right up to the front of the line and say he needs to come with me. Put him through here first, and the uniform division will do that. That's standard. But we're walking past the garage. There's this carport that was built at what we call the Hinckley Hilton. The reason why we call it that is because it's the Washington Hilton in Washington, D.C., where Reagan was shot. And in the exact spot where Reagan was shot, if you took a photo of, Jerry Parr putting Reagan into the limo, and I forget the black dude's name. The black dude in the photo has his gun up in the air and is in like the half Sabrina. We call that the half Sabrina from Charlie's Angels. When your gun's pointed in the air and you only have one hand on it, a full Sabrina, there's two hands. And you would never be like that. That's not what we do. It's a TV thing. He's in the half Sabrina, which is everybody. Danny, it's coming. He was the special agent in charge of the Philadelphia field office when I did my initial interview. He's the guy that interviewed me. And so, not Triplett. Tony Triplett was another black dude who was a squared away dude. Danny Spriggs is the guy in that photo. And in addition to the half Sabrina, some other things throughout his career, apparently he's been known for not exactly doing properly. Well, I say that the initial interview that he did of me was one of the things that he thumbs up, because all he would have had to do is say, no, I don't like this guy, and that's it, my career's over. I don't even get another interview. But nope, he made a good choice there. So in the exact spot where the assassination attempt took place is now a carport, because one of the things we learned from that was that we should, whenever possible, and they did have a pull-in garage, whenever possible, we should be loading and offloading and loading our protectees in a covered and secure area, indoors. Or in other places, we build a tent, at over top of the arrival departure area. Literally a tent. They pull the cars in, the limo and the spare limo, or actually, rather the limo and the follow-up. So the Cadillac that the president is in, there's two. He's in one, the other's a spare. He's in one, that one stays in the tent. The Suburban that we're in comes in behind him. They close the doors on the tent, and then we all get out. The Hilton built a carport over that spot of the driveway that has garage doors on either side. And so now it's brick and good quality garage doors, so I'm going to say. And we're standing in the garage door. Sean Penn and I are standing in the garage door. And he says, we walk past that spot, and he says, can I have a cigarette first? Like, yeah, but you got to do it out here. Cool. But we stand kind of in the garage door, So he's away from the view of the paparazzi. And then the agent was this new kid that was posted there, because everything we touch has an agent there, you know, keeping it that way. And this agent lost his mind. Oh, you can't bring him here. What are you doing? I'm like, yes, I can. One, two. Do you see who it is? He's fine. I'm watching him. I'm here. He's smoking a cigarette. Have one with him. Chill out. By the way, my role for that particular night, I'll never forget that night. I'll never forget that night. I was the lead advance for the intelligence analysis, the threat analysis for that one visit. So I knew that Fox News and all those people were going to be there. I knew what was going on with some of the guests. So I knew that Sean just broke up with somebody, whoever it was. During the event, President Obama is at the podium, and I'm standing in the back of the room with my partner, an agent named Luis Enriquez. And we're listening to the jokes, and I'll tell you what, Barack Obama's funny. I know he doesn't actually write the material. His staff brings actual professional comics in, and they write all that shit for him. But that doesn't, you can give the best jokes in the world to Donald Trump. And when you got a personality of a toilet seat like he does, it's not going to be that funny, because delivery and timing, such key elements to stand-up comedy. And Barack's up there. He starts busting on Donald Trump, who's at the event. Way before there was even talk about him possibly being a successor. I think this might have been, well, I'll tell you when it was, because of the story. This was a Saturday night, May 30th. I just don't remember the year. You'll be able to research it when I tell you the rest of the story. Saturday night, May 30th. I'm standing in the back of the dining room, of the banquet room. God, must be 500 to 1,000 people in this thing. Seriously. And he's going through his jokes, and my partner and I are laughing because he's got great delivery. Obama's got great personality and delivery. He starts to bust on Trump's balls. And it was right after an episode of Celebrity Apprentice where he fired Gary Busey, where he fired actor Gary Busey. And he mentions that because firing Gary Busey, and I'm not going to do it justice, but here goes. Because firing Gary Busey, these are the things I worry about at night. As president of the United States, he worries about firing Gary Busey. Yeah, no. And I turned and I looked to Lewis, who turned and looked to me. And he looks to his left, like I'm looking to the left in the camera. And he just points to the stage and says, I'm getting chills thinking about this. And he just says that there was a message in that, wasn't there? And I'm like, yeah. Now, I gave you the date for a reason. That was Saturday, May 30th. On the evening of Monday, June 1st, Barack Obama came back on international television from the White House and made the announcement that Navy SEALs got Osama bin Laden. Now, do the math. And when I saw that on the news, I immediately called Lewis. And he, caller ID, or he knew who would be calling, one of the two. Yergs, that was the message. And it was. Because if you do the math, we can, actually. WorldTimeBuddy.com. We'll say that was 9 p.m. I'm going to have to, I don't know if I have enough room or not. Where's today? I got to come back out of this. There we go. Pakistan. I think he was in Lahore. No, Islamabad. Wasn't it? Wasn't it Islamabad? Well, I mean, they're all the same thing. So, Lahore, Pakistan. I'm going to move this up to where we're at here so you can see the difference. This is us in the eastern Washington, D.C. versus Pakistan. We'll say that joke was given at about 8:30 p.m. It was, that's Monday, here is Saturday. It was already 5:30 a.m. on Sunday. It's already the next day. These guys have to plan, which they've probably kind of sort of already done. But they've got to practice. They've got to review intelligence. And by dinner time, less than 48 hours later, the mission was over. Bin Laden was buried at sea, respectful to Muslim beliefs. It was done. And even with the downed helicopter inside the compound, the mission was considered a success. Done. They're back at the base. Over. He would have had to give in the order probably right before going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night. So that punchline just, I think we lost, it's 12:04. I think we lost K-Shop. So hopefully they know to jump over to Yerg's Radio or Mastiff.media or wherever so they can find the video or the audio. But Barack Obama would have had to give them the order, give the okay to do it. Probably while getting ready for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So when he tells Donald Trump that firing Gary Busey are the things he worries about, yeah, that's a joke. And yeah, there was a message there. Think about that story when you listen to the current president and his state media, Fox News, bitching about a president that's no longer in office. And when you don't hear them bitching about a president they should be bitching about. Barack Obama is an example, just one example of what real presidents do. I promise you we're going to talk about Ron DeSantis too. That piece of shit. I can swear now because we're off K-Shop. That's our only, and on ZQR, we're not on their AM FM frequency there. Their one music station is, but we're still, that music station gets 2 million hits a month to their website. So we're getting some of that. Okay. Let me take one more break. When we come back, we will get to Ron DeSantis, I promise. I don't know that we're going to get to everything today. That's kind of a thing. Maybe if I use this timer that was supposed to keep me on time. What do you think? Let's see, 50. I got to take this back. I do have another timer that obviously I was not using either. That helps me stay on time. Hey, the hour's up. You should probably go through the plugs and let everybody know to come over to another station if we're going to lose one of them. Yeah, there's that. All right. Radio X Country, Radio Gold, ZQR, DNR Cast, the Biz Growth Collective, Right Talk Radio, Forward Radio, Rainbow Radio, Yerg's Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. This is Up the Middle. We'll be back here for these words. Hey gang, my name's Yergs. I'm the CEO of the Yerger Group and Mastiff Media. We're partnering with Dare Media of Australia and are looking for new content. Do you have a podcast? Or maybe a live stream? Does it have a positive message? Is it about sports? Is it political? Is it news coverage? Is it for the LGBT community? Or is it even music? Don't forget, we're partnering with Dare Media of Australia. So not only could your program be heard on our stations here in the United States, but also in Australia. So if that's you, send us an email on air at yergsradio.com. That's on air at yergsradio.com. The yergs.radio URL does not have email. On air at yergsradio.com. And let's get you on air. I don't know if you've ever seen bouncing around during that commercial. Like a rubber ball bouncing around. My puppy was playing with one of those Kongs. It's a big rubber honeycomb looking thing while I was recording that commercial. And I was like saying things in between her bouncing the thing around, and some of it was just you know what, this is funny, I'm going to do it. Broken Mirror of Memory, Barack and Other Tales. I gotta start my timer. I got a timer for this too. Make sure that I actually talk about these things for the required amount of time. Broken Mirror of Memory, Barack and Other Tales by Joseph Soul. Scan that QR code. Purchase your copy today. However, we're working on a deal, Joseph and I, to sell that very book. This one right here on your screen. On mastiff.media. Autographed copies. And if I can swing it for less than what you can get on Amazon. So stay tuned. Sea Ranch Civic Association. That's the one up there. Go to mysrca.com. If you're on audio and you don't see the QR codes, or you don't have your phone handy, go to mysrca.com. Check out the Sea Ranch Civic Association if you're in the Nature Coast of Florida or the northern Tampa Bay, Hernando County, Pasco County, Pinellas County, those general areas. Really, really good group to be a part of. They do a bunch of community service things, plus community events. farmers markets, breakfasts that they serve once a month in the community building. You can rent the hall for activities and events of your own, and so many other things. Go to mysrca.com. Check them out and sign up today. All right. Robin Wright, formerly Robin Wright Penn, is the name of the actress with whom Sean broke up. Thanks again to Superfan Ken, keeping us up to date and on time. 10 to 15 minute timers. Yeah, that's actually what the segment timer, or when I tell a story, is set to. I haven't turned that on for the past hour, and well, even since yesterday. I don't think I used it yesterday either. I do need to. Is that ticking from the music? Yeah. Okay. That's annoying. Sounds like they're. Try down tempo here. What is up with the music on? The AI generated music, not all of the channels work. There we go. Some down tempo. Yeah, Ken says there's a tick from the music too. He's hearing it as well. So I'm glad it wasn't my system. The last thing I need yet. All right. Enough with the music. Enough with the QR codes. By the way, I'm seeing a bunch of YouTube channels using the QR codes now. Wait till you see what we launch sometime this summer. This is going to be cool. I can't wait. I can't wait. This is people we ask for interviews won't be saying no to us then. Anyway, DeSantis, and I always call him DeSantis to associate him with George Santos, the other Republican lying piece of shit. Again, with the patterns. So apparently he pushes back. What we're going to do is I'm just going to play this. It's a 4-minute listen to the article. Apparently he pushed back at the allegations linking the governor and his wife to the $10 million given to the Hope Florida Foundation after the state settled with the government-sponsored healthcare provider, another lawsuit. Let's see what this says.
DeSantis punches back at Hope Florida controversy, likens Lawfare to attacks on Trump and nominees. Governor Ron DeSantis spokesperson says backlash from GOP critics is ridiculous and especially shameful. The office of Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis punched back at allegations linking the governor and his wife, Casey DeSantis, to $10 million given to the Hope Florida Foundation after the state settled with a government-sponsored healthcare provider. Governor DeSantis and Florida First Lady Casey DeSantis have been subject to politically motivated lawfare in the state of Florida, and now the same lawfare is being perpetrated against President Trump and his nominees, Communications Director Brian Griffin told Fox News Digital.
Okay, this sounds awful. Clearly, this is being read by AI, because AI obviously doesn't know what a comma is. So I'm going to take over. I can't. I'm not going to let that go on my radio show. It's ridiculous and especially shameful coming from Republicans who hate to see others delivering results. No, it's your boy is a crook. That's why it's happening. Centene, a large medical insurance provider that specializes in government-sponsored programs like Medicaid and Medicare, returned $67 million in a settlement with the state's Agency for Healthcare Administration over claims that Centene was overbilling Medicaid payments. Following the settlement in September 2024, $10 million of the funds were sent to the Hope Florida Foundation. The $10 million given to the Hope Florida Foundation was then split into two separate $5 million grants to 501c4 organizations. One went to Save Our Society from Drugs, and the other to Secure Florida's Future Incorporated. Subsequently, $8.5 million of those entities were dispersed to Keep Florida Clean, a political action committee that previously targeted Florida Amendment 3, a constitutional amendment to recreationally legalize marijuana. Casey DeSantis has been outspoken against the legalization of marijuana. A senior official from DeSantis' office told Fox News Digital that the Hope Florida Foundation is a separate entity from the Hope Florida Initiative that has been spearheaded by Casey DeSantis. And they have the same name. A senior official from DeSantis' office has also told Fox News Digital that there is no official investigation being conducted by the Leon County State Attorney's Office, despite reports that a record custodian in the same attorney's office referred to the matter as an open, ongoing investigation. Of course, there's no investigation going on by a Republican sheriff on a Republican governor that are attached at the hips. In a May 21st email exchange obtained by Fox News Digital, the New York Times corrected a headline stating that Casey DeSantis is under investigation. After DeSantis official clarified to the publication that there's no official investigation taking place. Shocker. Look at those eyebrows. Good God. Wow. I mean, I want to snap my fingers twice. I don't know why. Dun-dun-dun-dun. The Addams Family. Florida State Republican Rep. Alex Andrade, chairman of the Healthcare Appropriations Subcommittee, originally unearthed the funds. Andrade told Fox he was unaware if there was an actual ongoing investigation, but added that he had a long conversation with the Department of Justice about documents and communications related to the movement of funds. He noted he does not see how Casey or Ron DeSantis are involved. Andrade went on to explain that he believes DeSantis' chief of staff at the time was involved in brokering the grants between the Hope Florida Foundation and the two entities which received $5 million each. He also slammed the Hope Florida Initiative itself, saying they can't back up any of the claims about what state employees are doing. The concept of Hope Florida is telling existing employees to do a better job of helping people, Andrade added. That's it. DeSantis previously addressed Andrade's claims at a May 21st press conference in Weston, Florida. You had one state representative with a political agenda. You mean like you don't? You're trying to get your wife to run for governor so you can still be the governor. She hasn't had an original thought since she became a journalist. That's what a journalist on TV does. They read other people's work, just like I'm doing right now. I didn't write this. Oh. To try to smear associated with the administration. My wife is doing a great job for this. Oh, I know. She's doing such a great job, Ron. I wish you were. You stood in my driveway right after Hurricane Helene and told me that help was on the way. And I haven't seen shit. So let's talk about what a great job we're all doing, dick. Not just on Hope Florida, saving taxpayers $100 million, getting 30,000 people off means-tested welfare. Show me someone else in this country that has been able to do that. Well, if you believe everything that Elon Musk is smoking up our ass, he's awesome. So there you go. You sure haven't done it. Though Florida Foundation controversy has shaken up political implications for the upcoming governor's race. Governor DeSantis is termed out, but his wife Casey is widely rumored to enter the field. Why? Republican Rep. Byron Donalds of Florida. Uncle Byron, there he is. Of Florida is the only GOP candidate declared so far and has received an endorsement from President Donald Trump shortly after his announcement. Oh, this is a time when I would actually want a MAGA guy to win just to get DeSantis and his family out. Because I know Donald's ain't going to get anything done. He hasn't done anything in Congress. Fox News Digital reached out to Leon County State Attorney's Office, but did not receive a response in time for publication. Yeah, I know what that's like. Pasco County. So there he is, Ronnie boy. You can tell when he's like guilty. I'll just, for lack of better terms, because the head starts going. It looks like a bobblehead doll. His voice goes up a little bit. You can hear the stress. And there's a lot of you knows. Casey's doing a great job, I can't get my voice that high because I actually have testosterone. All right. So there's Ron. Whatever. Fox News is lying again. Or is it still? So I found this story after this one ran.
Our picks for the biggest stories that we think you guys should be following.
Oh, this is it.
Over
Okay.
the course of the week, and I will go first with this.
All right, so
It's the Big
this
Weekend
video
Show,
was
and it's time
unrelated
now
to
our.
this video was unrelated to the DeSantis story. I thought there was a video about it too, and it's not. So I don't know who these asshats are. It's whatever other show is on Fox. But literally every story that they're talking about on this is not accurate. All of them. So we're going to play this 3 minutes and 38 seconds. It's going to take us a lot longer because we're going to stop and I'm going to correct them and show you the truth because that's not something that Fox News does. Let's get started.
Weekend Show, and it's time now for the Big Four. Our picks for the biggest stories that we think you guys should be following over the course of the week, and I will go first with this story. Republican donors reportedly warming up to the idea of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey DeSantis, running for her husband's position in.
Do you notice the different? Oh, God damn it. Why does it do this? Look at the different eyebrows.
2026.
Longer,
Ron DeSantis,
thinner,
the sitting governor,
normal
will be term
looking?
limited. Very popular. DeSantis' wife,
Thicker.
Casey DeSantis, running for her, reportedly warming up the course of the week, and I will go first with
Where's the
this
other one?
story.
Where's the other? Where's the one that wasn't there one in the actual article? We'll come back to that. Don't worry. Oh, now what the hell? Pamela Bach, Baywatch actress and David Hasselhoff's ex-wife, dead at 62. Oh, wow. Okay, let me scroll down here. There you
We're
go.
back. It's the Big Weekend Show, and it's time
Stop.
now for the
God
Big Four.
damn it.
Our picks for the biggest stories that we
Well-
think you guys should be.
So I'm a Second Amendment.
Son of a bitch. So those eyebrows, and of course this will be in the show notes. If you scroll down into the article that we just read, There's a photo of her. That's when I did the snaps, where she looks like, I don't know, Morticia from Addams Family, and the thick eyebrows. Those eyebrows are clearly not the same as these. All right, let's get back to this.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' wife, Casey DeSantis, running
Right
for
there.
her husband's
Those are thinner.
position in
Normal looking.
2026. So Ron DeSantis, the sitting governor, will be term limited. Very popular Republican down there. Of course, won a huge re-election in 2022. But who would come next? I know there's a number of people rumored to have their eye on the prize, apparently including maybe the current first lady of the state of Florida, former news anchor, very good communicator, very sharp, right? Cancer survivor, young mother. There's a lot of appeal there, and we'll see.
Appeal for what? News anchor. Nobody trusts the news now. So, and nobody trusts Ron DeSantis. If you talk to actual Floridians, not a bunch of no-name journalists that nobody ever heard of before, nobody likes Ron DeSantis right now. He said he was going to fix the insurance industry. He didn't. He said he was going to remove property taxes. You can't. Do you have any idea how much money the state of Florida brings in from residential property taxes? Do you have any idea? And he wants to get rid of that. He knows that's not going to happen. He's saying that so he gets to blow smoke and sunshine up our ass, and we fall for it. Because that's what his base does. You're talking about people who don't have higher than a 7th grade reading level. That means they don't have higher of a 7th grade cognitive level either. That's why I try to help with that and put it in terms I understand. He's a liar. There.
See what happens if she even wants it. Those rumors have been percolating here for a little while.
I guess it depends on what their White House plans are, maybe.
There's also that. They've got to wait a while. They got to wait a while either way. Joey?
All right, listen, this one's important to me. As you know, I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. I believe that you're...
Okay. Let me stop you right there. I'm for the Second Amendment, too. The difference between me and this asshat, I can tell you already, is that I'm also for the other 9 amendments to the Bill of Rights. But moreover, I'm also for this little thing that the far right doesn't seem to put to use all that terribly often. Common sense. Common sense. Some of these gun laws are a little ridiculous. For example, did you know that the big, beautiful bill that's before Congress right now, among other gross, disgusting flaws with it, gives tax deductions for those who buy firearms with a silencer on it? Yeah, that's in the bill. So why don't we be a fiscal conservative too, Joey? And say, you know, instead of cutting Medicaid, why don't we put bigger taxes on stupid shit like tanning beds and guns with silencers that only assassins use domestically here in the United States? You know, maybe the military uses that, and that's fine. We can get that as the government tax-free anyway, even though they pay way too much for it because of That's what they do. That's just one step towards some common sense. Not to mention things like background checks and background checks that aren't happening. I don't like this douchebag already.
Your ability to protect yourself, your right to protect yourself is
Your right to protect
uncompromised.
yourself
So President
down
Trump,
here in
he's gonna keep
Florida.
a campaign promise on this topic. He just signed a new executive order to protect and expand Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. What this executive order does is it directs the Attorney General to look at all the policies from past administrations, specifically the Biden administration.
Oh, of course, we know it's the Biden administration. Not to mention that some of the more restrictive gun regulations that came about, you know what I'm going to say, happened during Trump 1.0. Quietly, of course. Shh. I am not going to finish everything today.
And say any of them that unnecessarily or, in his opinion, unlawfully restricted Americans' right to possess a firearm, that they get struck down, they get removed. This is great.
See, we got this thing, Joey. Maybe you heard of it. Just follow me here for a minute. 250 years ago, a bunch of our ancestors got on a boat, not a big boat, mind you, just a boat. And they crossed an entire ocean to get rid of Donald Trump's relatives, kings, and wannabe dictators who just, I'm going to do this because I think it's a great idea. And because people like Joey are cowardly sheep, they'll go with it. And he's got a nice haircut and wears a suit that looks like his grandmother's sofa. And people think that's trendy. So they'll follow because they're sheep too. That's what you're doing at Fox News. Let's listen to more of this asshat. I got 27 minutes.
In the nuance, the ATF, the NFA items have been a lot faster in recent weeks. There's a lot of things already heading in the right direction. And it may be nuanced to some people, but it's a part of my life, and I'm glad it's happening.
Well, I have something.
It's a part of my life, and I'm glad it's happening. Takes a sip of moonshine
That I need to discuss that might be right up there with the executive order that you just discussed, Joey. President Trump says he's going.
Oh my God. Joey, just listen to what I have to say here just for a minute. Oh God, this bitch annoys me already.
To reverse Joe Biden's mandate to phase out plastic straws, saying,
oh, this one. You know what? I'm going to show you a picture. Let me show you something. We're going to come back to our video in a minute. But there you go.
This is one of the most horrific stories we've ever had to report. A Fox News alert, manhunt on for a father in Washington State wanted in connection.
Stop. There you go. There's your plastic straws. Bitch. I don't even know what her name is. I don't care. There you go. There's your plastic. And what I'm showing are wildlife trapped in plastic. There's a bird. Tell me that bird did not eat that much plastic. Tell me that photo is doctored, please. I don't know. I know this is why I'm against plastic straws. I'm for reuse. I have Actually, I lost them in the flood, but I had reusable straws, steel straws. Yeah, there's more photos of birds that are just like they died and they're decaying, and this plastic sitting there, it's fine. So yeah, let's do. There you go. There you go. There's rubber gloves floating in the ocean. There's a deer eating a bag. Because why not? There's one with a bag over its head. Because what could happen? Yeah, let's get some more plastic in the wildlife, Donald. This is something. There's a guy in D.C. I don't like too much. He's kind of a dick. But he taught me something, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm telling you, this was very early on. So I've been doing this for almost 20 years because of this guy. Look at this photo of this duck. That's one of those 6-pack rings that you use around the duck's body, I guess. Ever since this guy told me, because of this very situation, and these animals get strangled on this stuff. There's something else around another duck. Here you get. There you go. There's one with it. Plastic and sustainability. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? There you go. How's that duck supposed to live its life? Having been trapped in that, and all these will be in the show notes. How's that duck supposed to live its life being trapped in one of these 6-pack plastic rings? Anytime I've ever had that, and I don't really do sodas anymore, but I was getting like Gatorade, Powerade, drinks like that came with those plastic wraps around each bottle. I take a scissors and I disconnect each circle, not just the big that are in that enclose or that grasp the 6 or 8 or 12 bottles, but the little connections in the middle where there's like like webbing to make it stronger. All of that gets cut so that I have one long piece of plastic that's still one piece, and therefore I think is more readily able to be picked up off the ground if it's dropped once it's loaded into the recycling truck, which I missed last night, by the way. Instead of cutting it into small pieces that can be eaten by birds. And now this bitch is going to cry about her straw falling apart in her pretty lipstick mouth. Oh my goodness. Oh, boo-hoo. I don't know. Maybe stop drinking soda so your fat ass loses a little weight.
We're back.
He's going to keep a campaign promise on this topic. He just signed a new executive order, but it's a part of my life, and I'm glad it's happening.
Well, I have something that I need to discuss that might be right up there with the executive order that you just discussed, Joey.
Did Joey just listen to me, Joey?
Joe Biden's mandate to phase out plastic straws, saying, guys, on Truth Social, quote.
So apparently T-Rump said, Crooked Joe's mandate. Who talks about another president like that? This is not okay. You don't support this. He's not crooked. You think he's crooked because this asshat, who, by the way, just took a $400+ million airplane from a terrorist country. Tell me about crooked. Crooked Joe's mandate, no plastic straws, only paper, is dead. Enjoy your drink without the straw that disgustingly dissolves in your mouth. Maybe if you drink the damn thing, and you know what you do when it dissolves in your mouth? You get another straw. What do I tell you folks every day? This ain't that hard. God. So we might have froze on Instagram. It's Yergz, YERGZZ is the account we use. Somebody gets over on that and checks it out quick. I got to take a break soon anyway. So anyway, yeah, here's another one. She's going to tell you
Enjoy
how they're
your next
poisonous.
drink without a straw that disgustingly dissolves in your mouth. And all I have to say is if I hear one Democrat complain...
If I hear one Democrat complain, because we all know at a station that paid almost, actually, more than $1 billion for lying, we know we don't listen to Democrats.
about this, I'm going to lose my mind because
Sweetie, your mind's been gone. Your mind's been gone when that skinny ass went with it.
all can agree. This is an item.
I love when people say that. We can all agree that, you know, I'm going to fucking disagree with you just for good measure. What do you think of that? Oh, this network. God, I used to watch this shit too.
That I don't think there's any dispute over. Paper straws do not work.
They're terrible.
They're terrible. I'm from Fox News, and so I got to say that they're terrible.
We need to go back to plastic, not to mention it has been proven that the paper straws have forever chemicals in them. They are not good for you either. So,
all right, well, let's look. I've been using paper straws since I moved to L.A., where they're already illegal, or where plastic straws are already illegal. And you know what my soda was when I went to McDonald's? It was a soda. It was fine.
Tonight we are hearing more criticism of President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill by a man who's been one of his biggest supporters. That is former Doe.
Yeah, that's a story I do really need to do. What is more? Chemicals. No, I don't want vapes or cigarettes. Plastic or paper. Paper. There we go. Straws. So here's from the BBC. Plastic or paper, the truth about drinking straws. The backlash against single-use plastics has been a growing market for paper, metal, glass, and plant-based straws. But is the choice between them really a simple one? All right. You probably had this problem. You order a smoothie to sip with your lunch, a morning iced coffee, or your Friday night cocktail, and it arrives with a brightly colored tube of paper sticking out of the top. After a few slugs, however, the tube quickly flops on itself, forcing you to take it out and leave it on the table in a wet, pulpy mess. Paper straws become most ubiquitous in bars and fast food outlets as the hospitality industry has rushed to ditch plastic in response to consumer backlash. But while they may not linger in the environment for 300 years or so, like plastic does, paper straws leave a lot less to be desired. I don't know. Look at those photos and tell me what has a lot more to be desired. A recent study has also highlighted another potential concern. Paper straws assessed by researchers at the University of Antwerp, Belgium, were found to contain more forever chemicals, per and polyfluorobutadiene substances, or PFAs, than plastic. Okay. These long-lasting PFAs can stay in the environment for decades, can contaminate water supplies, and are associated with a range of health problems. Good. So plastic and paper need to go away. What do I say? What do I say? This ain't that hard. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get reusable straws and I'm going to give them out. What do you think of that? The researchers behind the study say the results suggest that paper straws, along with their bamboo counterparts, which were also found to contain PFAs, are not necessarily a more sustainable alternative to plastic. The higher levels of forever chemicals they contain, they say, can be seen as a question mark over how biodegradable these alternatives are. Okay, stainless steel. That's the answer. There you go. I just saved the planet. You also like living without plastic in Japan. Can we clean up forever chemicals? The bird that sparked the mass cleanup. Probably one that's dead because it had all that kind of shit inside of it. There you go. Forever straws. Custom stainless straws. Look at that. $12.99. Wow. Okay then. Wow. Would you like a large soda? Yeah. Can I get it in like a 5-gallon bucket to make it worth getting a $12 straw? Oh, son of a bitch. Branded reusable straws. All right, let's see what this is. I don't know why I need a silicone. What the heck? I just need a goddamn straw. Okay, so there we go. 22 to 39 cents. What do we got here? Mood straw. Oh yeah, baby. Product details. The price includes a laser engraved imprint on the side. Setup charge, add $50. That's usual. They ship in 3 business days. Excludes art preparation time. Applies only to orders. Oh, the asterisk is 5,000 or fewer and 1 imprint location. Okay. So, well, what is it made after? Is what I want to know. Materials and features. Plastic. Well, Jesus Christ, that's not reusable. Reusable. How reusable is this straw? Oh, it's 9 inches. I'm going to hell. See, I don't custom eco-friendly drinking straws. All right, let's see what this has. I'm on a mission now. We're going to make straws. There you go. That's steel. That's got to be steel. Custom bamboo. So, like, these bamboos are bad too, though. That's metal. That's goddamn metal. That's got to be. Look how shiny it is. Get a free quote. Like, from 100 to 250, 249, there's 73 cents. I mean, I would get some of those just to get a free sample. 500 million disposable plastic straws a day. Great for use in coffee shops, bars, restaurants, or at home. Easy to clean, especially when purchased with brush or silicone tips. That's metal. That's got to be. It doesn't say, though. Get a free quote and proof. Get a sample. Look up. I mean, rainbow. 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 Bitch, please. Oh. Get a free quote and proof. Material, stainless steel. A 50-cent stainless steel straw. Done. 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 Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to get a blue one for Forward Radio. I'm going to get a red one for Yerg's Radio. Or no, for Right Talk Radio. I'm going to get a rainbow one for Rainbow Radio. Hello. And a purple one for... no, get a black one. Oh, plus 19 cents. Plus... I got to get the rainbow. I've got to get the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. I'm getting this. We can't get straight straws for gay, so we got to get bent. Hello. No, they can get their own goddamn cleaning brushes. Do you want silicone mouthpieces with your straw? No. I mean, we're just doing this like as a trial thing. None comments. Like, help the plant by purchasing these blank. Get a. Why can't they put like something on it, the side? But do you get... Okay, well, fine. Let's talk about getting something on them. This is pain in the balls. So laser engraved as low as 50 cents. Is that... But isn't this stainless steel straws blank? Okay, well, fine. Where's here? Laser engraved. There we go. I have never had an episode where I rambled more about actual intelligent shit. I want to see the engraving, though. Reusable stainless steel drinking straws from logo tags customized with your logo. Okay. They come in both straight, and bent options and are eco-friendly way to help eliminate the 500 million disposable plastic straws that Americans consume each day. Laser engrave your logo and artwork directly onto the stainless steel and hand them to your environmentally conscious customers and clients. Like all logo tag products, these straws are sold factory direct in quantities of 100 or more. Get a free quote and proof. Still, Rainbow 9. So now they're 80 cents each with a logo. Fine. Totally fine. So 89 cents each. Hell yes. I'll get 100 of those for, $140. I'll pass them out at the Pride events this month. Why would I not do that? I can tell Fox to go F themselves. Well, we'll be filling that out. Media, Rainbow Radio.gay. Oops. Well, anyway, I'll do this after. I got to tell everybody where everybody's at. Let's do the plugs. Go through some. Yes, take from In the Music. God damn, where are the... How many people are talking in this? Rhonda Shifty. Yeah. I call him Rhonda Santos. That's his drag name. Rhonda Santos. High Lion, voice of the Shifty. Yeah. Ken also says, sounds like for entertainment, as per usual, don't have anything to say, and have Biden living rent-free in their heads. Yeah. They talk a lot about a president that's no longer president. I don't get that. Ken says he likes the straws from tropical smoothies. They are flavor tasting ones that you can eat once. That you can eat the straw. Okay. That's an idea. They were like candy. Okay. Ken says we can't do T-shirts. We can, and I will. Oh, well, we can't because then it's going to be like a sexual thing, I guess. Yeah, not during Pride Month. Yeah. So here's the shirt. This ain't that hard. And then an arrow pointing down, but this is. How's that? He says 22.86 centimeters. No, you want to look up how many inches. I guess that's 22 centimeters is 9 inches. Yeah, I would. Ken wants to get the black one. I would get that one for Yerg's Radio, but given that it's June, I want to get these. Yeah, the black. I know you meant the black one. You're already the black one. I know he meant the straw. So yeah, let's do the plugs. And where's the plugs? There we go. And I'm gonna get out of here. Kind of sort of on time. I want to order these straws. I want to get them here. I want to get down to something. Don't forget Action for Andrew at the U.S. Supreme Court on Friday the 6th. We can turn that off. U.S. Supreme Court on Friday the 6th. I don't know what time, but I'm guessing it's going to be most of the day. Joe messaged me overnight last night. Joseph Soul, the Broken Mirror of Memories, Iraq and Other Tales. He wants to come on the show again. I'd love to have him on again. He was on Coast to Coast AM last week. And you can go to their website for that episode. If you're somewhere in the world and your government doesn't want you listening to me, write me and tell me you need a vacation. Yergs at ShayYergs.com. CHEZYERGZ.com. And I'll make sure that we get the show to you wherever you are in the world. I already saw that Mastiff.media is being looked at by Russia, Ukraine, and some other sketchy countries. So we'll definitely continue to get our message and our information to you. Sea Ranch Civic Association, go to mysrca.com. Sign up today. Anywhere along the Nature Coast, northern Tampa Bay, definitely worth your time. The Capitol switchboard is 202-224-3121. Call your congressman. Call your senators. Tell them this big, beautiful bill is big, beautiful bullshit. Jane Stahl can be reached by writing her at Jane E. Stahl, STAHL, at Comcast.net. She's the general manager of Studio B, Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and the co-editor of the Boyertown Area Expression, our digital town newspaper. You can go to studiobbb.org or Boyertown Area Expression.town.news to learn more about each. Matt Deemer can be reached, Matt at dailycryptonews.net. He is the host of the Daily Crypto News, Daily Crypto News Show, played here and by going to dailycryptonews.net. You can reach us all by writing news, NEWZ, at yergz.com. Now on video, by going to mastiff.media and yergs.com. And as usual, yergs.radio for the audio, as well as other stations. For the video, show notes, and other information, go to mastiff.media. Let's see, Paranormal Guys is not up next because Sportcat is still on leave. But what is up next is a podcast. I don't know which one it is. Playlist schedule. Today's Wednesday already? God damn. Coyote Small Business Podcast is up next. We will be having a replay of this in 58 minutes. All right, gang. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for getting off the porch and running with the big dogs straight up the middle. We'll see you tomorrow. As soon as I find it, there we go. There it is. All right. See you tomorrow.